this morning.
Morning, sir.
We appreciate your keeping to
Good
time
morning.
and always attending this lecture that will actually spur us to do well as regards productivity and development. Thank you for coming. We appreciate the presence of all government members that are here, the fellows in the House, and indeed, the Director General and the President. For us to commence, let's listen to introductory speech from the President, Professor Gupta. Professor Gupta, please, you have the floor.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Hear you?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I am very happy to see the energetic members of the Center for Public Service and Productivity, who is playing a key role to improve the productivity of the common people by self-motivation. In this regard, I am very thankful to my DG, Dr. Krish and Dr. Kelechi, who has taken lots of pain to focus on how to overcome the barriers in our personality and what tool they can use to increase the productivity for their personality, as well as they can play important role for nation building, which is very important in present scenario for developing countries like Nigeria and India. We both have a highest number of population in our continent. We can do only with small changes of functionality, our behavior, our style of working, so that we can make our country developed and increase the lifestyle of our common people through our good idea, productive idea. In this regard, Dr. Kelechi has taken initiation and motivated to his member Adeumuni, who is going to enlighten the techniques which is going to increase the productivity of common people. So now I am going to invite Dr. Kelechi so that they can start with his team to give the or enlighten the methodology for increasing the productivity. Thank you, Dr. Kelechi.
Thank you very much, President Professor Gupta, for that encouraging words of yours. We all appreciate the effort of Dr. Chris Egbu in ensuring that the common people, just like you mentioned, becomes productive, especially in the public and the private sector in Nigeria. And we appreciate your effort to all the time. You always make yourself available to be a part of this noble lecture. We appreciate so much, Professor Gupta. And for every one of us that are here, today we are going to listen to Mr. Kelechi Abel as he explores different avenues of increasing our personal growth and productivity through investments. We are going to listen to him. We are going to benefit maximally. We just need you to be attentive. Drop your questions and comments after he must have delivered the lecture. You will have the opportunity to ask questions and make your various comments. We appreciate you so much for coming. Let me quickly give you a brief profile of Mr. Kelechi Abel. It's going to be brief. It's a brief profile. We are not going to tell you all about Mr. Kelechi Abel this morning. Mr. Kelechi Abel is a fellow of the very popular Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, and is also a fellow of the prestigious and very, very important institution, Center for Public Service Development and Productivity. He's not just a fellow, he's a member of the Governing Council. Mr. Kelechi Ebe holds a master's degree in business administration. He has been the head Treasury of Enugu Electricity Distribution Company for 5 years. He was also the chief executive of APT ICANN Tuition Center Enugu. He was a facilitator and project supervisor of National Open University of Nigeria, now Enugu Studies Center, and a member of ICANN Committee on Entrepreneurship and Job Creation. You will agree with me that Mr. Kelechi Ebe has wealth of experience when it comes to growth and productivity. Presently, Mr. Kelechi Ebe is the chief consultant of Geoforcing Consult, a firm which specializes in offering consultancy services in accounting, management, finance, and training. For him to fulfill his professional callings, Mr. Kelechi Ebe has undergone many trainings, both home and abroad, and definitely is the right choice to handle this lecture at this period. 10 ways of increasing personal growth and productivity through investment. Please, let us welcome Mr. Kelechi Ebe. Mr. Kelechi Ebe, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adeyemi, for this brief introduction. Thank you all for attending to this month's lecture series. Today, our lecture on prosperity through productivity will consider the importance of investment, sources of investment funds, and 10 areas that we can invest to increase our personal growth. Early this year, our Center for Public Productivity, through our newsletter, encourage all members to strive to increase their income by about 30%. This seems to be a tall order due to the COVID-19 pandemic that had wreaked havoc on the economies of many countries and the recent Russian war on Ukraine. So many countries are experiencing economic downturn, hence increasing earned or active income is becoming a challenge. But to achieve the goal of increasing our income, we need to supplement active income with passive income. Passive income is defined as the money you earn that doesn't require you to do a lot of active work to continue making it. Somebody may say, I am so busy, how can I, while earning active income, look for passive income? Well, the application of Pomodoro principle, which states that 20% of the tasks you undertake gives you 80% of the results, will help you to identify critical tasks and concentrate on those. This will help you to have time and energy for investment. What is investment? Investment is defined as an asset or item acquired with the goal of generating income or capital appreciation. Such investment could be by individuals or groups. You can do it yourself or have it done on your behalf. What investment is not? Investment is not the get-rich-quick schemes whose returns are too good to be true. Imagine somebody telling you, send 100,000 now, in the next 3 hours, you will have 300,000. How will such a return be created? It means that somebody will suffer loss in the process. The maxim is, if it is too good to be true, probably it is. So we are looking at something genuine, something legitimate, and something enduring. Let us now focus on sources of investment fund. The first principal and better way to mobilize resources for investment is through savings. How can you make the needed savings? It is to reduce consumption. There is this equation: income minus consumption equals to savings. Consequently, if your income increases and you hold down your consumption, you will have increased savings. Even if your income is static and you are able to reduce unnecessary consumption, you will save more. Another source of fund for investment is borrowing. This could be by friends, commercial banks, or government institutions. Federal government institution for providing loans in Nigeria is mainly through the central bank. Central bank have the following investment support: agribusiness, small and medium enterprises investment scheme, anchor borrowers program, which gives farmers loans without collateral at 9%, creative industry financing initiative, commercial agriculture credit schemes, credit support for the healthcare sector, enterprises development fund, non-oil stimulation facility, and many others. Most of these CBN initiatives are channeled through other government institutions, such as the National Directorate of Employment, the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management with the N-Power, and the Bank of Industry. Before we highlight more on Bank of Industry, please take this information. Our members will receive free the slides and recorded video, while others will receive free the training video. Please send a chat requesting for your free materials. Give your full names, email, phone number in the chat box. And if you want an e-certificate for this particular training, you can indicate and pay 5,000 Naira administrative fee for such certificate. Let us move ahead. Bank of Industry's stated mandate is providing financial assistance for the establishment of large, medium, and small projects, as well as the expansion, diversification, modernization, and rehabilitation of existing enterprises. To achieve this mandate, Bank of Industry have a syndicated international loan of $1 billion, in addition to other resources placed at its disposal by government. The following categories are given preference in loan disbursement by the bank: small and medium enterprises, graduate entrepreneurship, women businesses, and financing. There is also Federal Mortgage Bank as a source of investment fund. Their core mandate is to provide long-term credit facilities to encourage institutions in Nigeria. They encourage the emergence and promotion of growth of viable primary and secondary mortgage institutions to service the needs of housing delivery in all parts of Nigeria. They guarantee that you can secure a loan from them within 6 months of application if you follow it diligently. Don't be too skeptical about government sources, because billions of Naira pass through those channels, and for no other reason, they would like to have something to show, to justify those billions, so you can secure loans. You need to check their websites on what is available and how to access them. We have a word of caution with regard to borrowing. Don't be quick to borrow funds to invest, except if there is reasonable prospect that the return from the investment will cover the interest on the borrowed fund and leave some margin for you. For example, if you borrow fund at the cost of 21% for an investment with a yield of 25%, your gain is just a margin of 4%. Another source of investment fund is grants. Grants are conditional free funds provided by local and international organizations. You will need to find out your eligibility and conditions attached. Another source is relatives and friends in the diaspora who may provide large funds for personal investments. Take, for example, your relative out there is able to send $1,000 to you. Indirectly, he's giving you 600,000 naira for investment. What if he's able to send you $10,000? You'll be talking about 6 million naira for investment. We will now consider 10 possible areas to invest for growth. This list is not exhaustive. We may consider others in future lectures. In considering this, there's a caveat. We are not going to indulge in deep academic exercises, such as calculating the payback period of each investment, the net present value, and all that. Many traders do not know all those technicalities, but observers can discern that a trader who started trading in one kiosk is now a millionaire. The first we will consider among the 10 areas is Treasury bills and government bonds. There were days when investments in Treasury bills provided high returns between 10 to 15%. Then all you need to do is to instruct your bankers, transfer my fund into Treasury bill, and you will receive income. But the yield these days is as low as 3%. However, government bond yields higher and is for longer periods. Presently, Nigerian government bond, 10-year bond, yields 13%. Take, for example, you have 1 million naira to invest in this government bond. That means every year you will receive 130,000 naira. Or you invest 10 million, you have 10 million idle fund, you invest it in this 10-year government bond at 13%. That means every year you will receive 1.3 million. And at the end of the period, your principal will still be returned to you. Of course, one may argue that inflation is much into that income, but it is better than leaving your surplus fund in savings, either current or even in fixed deposit, to yield less than 10%, 2% or nothing. In terms of risk, this brand of investment is said to be riskless. You are assured of your capital and interest, and sometimes the interest is paid upfront. The second area is lands and real estate. Investing in lands and real estate have produced some of the world's wealthiest persons, including former President Donald Trump of America. So if you have fund for long-term investment, this is for you, both for income and capital appreciation. You can buy a land that will be sold after a period of appreciation, or one that you can build an estate on and be collecting interest. It is important to purchase such land in developed or developing areas, even at higher price than in remote areas that will keep your fund dormant for years. This is a very good investment because land does not appreciate, it does not depreciate, it continues to appreciate. The major risk is acquiring wrong title or no good title that confers legitimate ownership. If care is not taken, you acquire a costly litigation that takes years with no prospects of winning. Personally, I have lost a piece of land in Abuja because of wrong title. To mitigate this risk, it is necessary to check the land registry to ensure that the land is not encumbered, and in case of family land, that all co-owners sign up for its sale. Work to acquire good title documents such as purchase receipts, valid agreement by a lawyer, change of ownership, power of attorney, deed of assignment, C of O, and so on. And as soon as you acquire the land or the estate, quickly take possession of it by fencing and building on it. Some prefer to invest through reputable estate companies like P1, Adran, and others. They are likely to have acquired a good title before allocating to their clients. But find out whether it is buy and build or you are contributing to a pool. Also, find out what your contributions are towards the development of the estate facilities, such as roads, water, electricity, so that you are not surprised that after buying a land of 1 million, later you'll be given a bill of 4 million for fencing the estates and building the roads, and you have no way of getting out. We are moving to the third area, stocks and shares. Stocks and shares are veritable ways of earning income and capital appreciation. In the first quarter of 2022, investors in the Nigerian stock market reportedly earned about 17 billion from investing 30 billion naira. Don't look at the daily fluctuations. Look at dividend payouts and appreciation in share value over time. We have examples of many who have become millionaires through stocks and shares. To invest wisely, you may need the assistance of stockbrokers who will advise when best to invest and what share offers the prospect of dividend and capital appreciation. The rule is that it is better to buy shares when prices are falling and to sell when prices are rising. There is need to diversify your portfolio by not investing in the same type and class of shares. This is to avoid a total loss, like the proverbial man who puts all his eggs in one basket. So instead of investing all your funds in bank shares, wisely have a mix of shares from banks, oil and gas, manufacturing, agri-concerns, construction companies, indigenous as well as foreign conglomerates, so that if any class of shares is declining, the others will provide a buffer to cover the loss. Some investors opt to hand over their funds to asset managers to invest on their behalf and give them fixed income, which of course must expectedly lower than the actual earnings on those shares. Such asset managers include Stanbic IBTC, Leadway Insurance Company, and many of the pension managers. As usual, you need to watch out for the scammers who will not pay interest and refuse to return the principal. Though Nigerian Stock Exchange is reputed to be among the best performing stock exchanges in terms of returns, with necessary expertise, one should explore other offshore stock exchanges, New York, London, Tokyo, and you can invest in such international brands like Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, and others. Let us now look at the fourth area you can earn passive income through investment: cooperative societies. Have you thought of joining cooperative societies even as a non-active member? This is a good way to earn additional income, whether it is consumers cooperative, manufacturers cooperative, wholesale or workers cooperatives. Many cooperative societies have enriched their members through land acquisitions, dividends, cheaper commodities, scholarships, and some also have lost money Before joining, ensure that it is properly registered and managed by men and women of integrity. If your investment in the cooperative is substantial and you have the time, work at becoming a governing council member or electing professional men with proven track records to assist in protecting your investment. You can equally co-opt others to form a cooperative of your own. Trading in foreign currencies. Here, we don't mean trading in digital currencies like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. These are still evolving and therefore very volatile, as there's no central authority to regulate the activities. For example, it's reported that Bitcoin value are falling from $60,000 to less than $20 in recent times. What we mean here is buying and storing relatively stable foreign currencies and converting and selling them in currencies whose exchange rate has gone up. This is information for our members and others. Our members will receive free the slides and recorded video, while others will receive free the training video. Please send a chat requesting for your free materials. You can send your full names, email, phone number, and if you want e-certificates, it will be sent to you on payment of 5,000 Naira administrative fees. We are still on trading in foreign currencies. Take, for example, if you had $10,000 in your domiciliary account or elsewhere 2 years ago, when the exchange rate here was 360 Naira to $1, your fund would have increased from 3.6 million to 5.6 million today, when the exchange is about 560 Naira to $1. That is an increase of 2 million in 2 years. If you had deposited such money in a bank or elsewhere, you may not earn so much. This trading can be done physically for you by bureau de change or online if you have the technical know-how and in different currencies. So you can earn income while asleep. You will need the help of experts and the right digital platform for such trade in foreign currencies. Let's look at agriculture. Agriculture provides a vast area for investment. This includes piggery, fishery, poultry, snail farming, animal husbandry, cattle rearing, and so on. There is also food processing and storage. Some people know when to store beans, when to store even crayfish, and know when to double the sale, palm oil, and so on. These are investments. Piggery is said to be more profitable than poultry. I'm not an expert here in this field, but you can hire the services of veterinary doctors to manage whatever livestock you are investing in. In subsequent lectures, we will elaborate on each of these investment areas. To succeed, a good feasibility study is necessary. Check for the mortality rate, security, land title, and availability of professionals in that field who can advise you properly. We are taking the 7th area, raking income from partnerships. Forming business partnerships enables you to share the burden and risk of any venture. This will help you to have access to knowledge, skills, and increased capital. And it will help you to benefit from economies of scale. The legendary synergistic effect of 2 + 2 = 5. This is due to better decision-making and big capital formation. If you are so busy, then choose to become a dormant partner. If you are afraid of losing more than your investment, you may choose to become a limited partner. The partnership may be temporary, one-off, or permanent. To protect yourself and your investment, choose trusted persons as partners. Also, draw up a detailed partnership agreement with sharing formulas and dissolution provisions that will enable you to exit when the going becomes tough. Let's move to the X area, setting up businesses to be run by others as an area of investment. So we want all of us to put our thinking cap as entrepreneurs. Can you secure the distribution of any manufacturing company or a conglomerate, such as distributor of cement, bottled water, cosmetics, vegetable oil, wares, wine, soft drinks, and so on? If you succeed in securing such distributorship, the next step is to set up the facilities and employ the people who can man it. Your duty will then be to ensure that goods are delivered at the distribution point, sold, and accounted for. What about securing the franchise of a bank to open POS outlets and employ sales girls for them? What about importing goods and machinery needed in the country or exporting one? So find out what is needed. You need to learn a bit about international trade to do this effectively. In selecting persons to run such businesses, don't just go for relatives. Select professionals with impeccable character and pay them well to reduce pilfering. Also ensure that you meet all statutory and ethical requirements. There should be no cutting corners. Transport business. Opportunities for investment in the transport sector is vast and varied, ranging from airlines, shipping, motor transport to tricycles and motorcycles. 6 years ago, Oscar Onyema surmounted great obstacles to set up Peace Airlines, which today ranks among the leading airlines in Nigeria. Of course, this depends on your negotiating skills, ability to mobilize funds or syndicate loans or go into technical partnerships. If you can't do it on a large scale, on individual scale, you can go into road transport business by buying suitable vehicles with cash or through hire purchase agreements. Take note that management of such is very critical because many greedy drivers and managers have raked such investment and enriched themselves. It may be better to hand over the assets to transport companies or register them with Uber or Bolt that can manage it for you. Let's take one more area of investment, internet-based businesses. Do you have an idea what putting in writing, a novel, a technical breakthrough, or a subject that others may want to read about? Gone are the days when you have only one option, that of publishing in hard copies and begging publishers to help you market the product. You can publish online on Amazon and Amazon.com and market the book through Facebook for business, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, and others. These channels can market your books internationally and remit proceeds to you in hard currency. You may need the services of intermediaries such as Kindle Direct Publishing, Sellers.com, Google Store, Payhypes, and others. Make sure you employ the services of experts who will publish for you if you don't have the expertise. You will need a dollar account to facilitate seamless transfer of your royalties. Other internet businesses you may embark on include creating a YouTube channel and allowing YouTube to run ads on your videos. These ads can be run on the column on the right-hand side or below the video. If someone clicks on the ads, on the adverts, the creator of the YouTube gets half of the money that the business pay to run the adverts. Some YouTube channels get up to 500,000 views a month, which translates to a passive income of about $1,000. You can also start a membership website. This is a private site that you can regularly add new content to. For people to access that content, they have to subscribe to the website. There is the content that can be accessed for free, but to get additional content or what is called the premium content, they need to pay a monthly membership fee. One good thing about this form of investment is that it's recurring. It brings recurring monthly income. Let us now look at the role of CeProd in your productivity. CeProd became a legal entity on 11 December 2008. The Center for Public Service Productivity and Development was registered as a non-governmental and non-profit organization, a world-class productivity center in Africa. The centrality of productivity to all sectors of the African economy calls for concerted efforts and measures to reverse the declining trends in the productivity of third world countries, hence the intervention of CeProd. If you look here, you see some awareness campaign in national and international publications carried about CeProd activities. One says how Nigeria's GDP can increase, Center for Public Service and Productivity. This was the Sun newspaper of 22nd May 2021. Use PR to curb strife. Let us look at the benefits members can derive. We show our members the best productivity principles, values, standards, and practices as a crucial factor in the performance of their organizations and businesses. Our members understand that increasing personal productivity raises their living standards and enhances national productivity. You see some induction of some members in a Kitty House in Abuja. Our members' productivity improves. As our members' productivity improves, the more their real income improves. Their ability to purchase goods and services, enjoy leisure, improve housing and education, and contribute to social and environmental impact will increase. So CeProd is not advocating a take it easy life. They want you to improve productivity, and as a result of such productivity, your standard of living will improve. Increasing our members' productivity also helps their businesses to be more profitable. Another benefit is that members, we have associates, CeProd members, we have member Center for Productivity, and we have fellow Center for Productivity. These can be appellations that can be attached to your name once you are trained to become a part of this institution. A monthly newsletter and special research reports keep members informed about emerging issues in the profession, locally and internationally. A unique opportunity for self-development give members opportunity to exchange ideas with experienced professionals so as to update and expand their skills. There is also an ongoing program that involves what we call productivity coaching. This is purely to assist members in understanding the main determinants or drivers of productivity growth. Certain factors are critical for determining productivity growth, and CeProd helps you to understand those. Our members have listing on online in CeProd membership directory. There's international networking among business leaders and professionals who are members of CeProd. Let us now conclude and look at what we have said. Investment is the sure way to earn additional income. We can confirm that many have become financially strong through investments and have even taken early retirement from active work because of what income that is yielded through their investments. It was reported recently that the 30 million offshore investments made on behalf of Anambra State government some years back is worth 100 million today. It could equally be an individual investment that yields as much. Many houses built in remote areas some times ago are now in high broad streets and have so appreciated and goes for millions of naira. Some persons who invested in the purchase of one vehicle years ago are now owners of big transport companies. I didn't mention small businesses that have grown into chain stores and conglomerates. So do not be afraid to venture. Doing nothing is also a risk. To mitigate losses, diversify your portfolios. Try to be on the side of the law always and follow approved business and investment ethics, no shortcuts. Maintain proper accounting and record keeping to keep track of the investment so as to know when to divest if the investment sells into murky waters. Take all necessary precautions. Look for those who knows. Don't hesitate to spend money on consultancy and feasibility studies. As you take the bold step to increase your personal development and productivity through investment, we at CeProd wishes you success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kelechi Abel. We appreciate you so much. And all of us that attend this lecture, we agree with me that he has done justice to this topic. We appreciate you so much, Mr. Kelechi Abel, for being here, for taking your time to expound on and explain it fullest. So much, Mr. Kelechi Abel. We appreciate you so much. Let's listen to a comment from the Director General of the Center, Dr. Chris Ebu, before we now entertain comments from other governing members here and other people here that may want to ask one question or the other or make one comment. Dr. Chris Ebu, we are listening to you, sir.
Well, we thank you so much, Kele, for tapping on your wealth of experience on investment. And we believe that if applied by all that have listened, it will create more wealth and growth opportunities so that we can be able to enhance the productivity capacity of the country and thereby reduce unemployment and insecurity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Chris Ebu. Do we have comments from, is there any other governing body member in this online that wants to make any comments as regards this? Dr. Chris?
Adeomi, please, can you take questions from the public and comments?
All right. Before... We can take your questions now. Please indicate by using the raise up hand, or you can put on your video so that we can know who is asking question. We can use the raise up hand indicator, or you put on your video and raise up your hand, and you can make your comments or ask your question. The non-raising of hand may probably be
No,
because
engineer,
okay,
engineer Dr. Usa.
engineer Dr. Isaac, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Kelechi and the team. Chris, it's good to join this meeting. I'm always offshore or off work right now. I'm in a RIC facility. So wonderful presentation at that. So the question I need to ask now, we know productivity may not always result in financial gains. So what are the other intangible gains that we can get for productivity from investment? I've known about we can employ, but more of this, I'm looking at this financial returns. I think there could be other intangible things that we can gain from being productive with our investment.
Thank you, sir, Engineer Dr. Isaac. Any other question or comments?
Please.
I have a question.
Maybe Mr. Kelechi can respond to that first.
I have a question.
I think someone else have a question. Maybe Kele can write down the questions.
Mr.
Steve.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. Good morning, sir. Thank you for the presentation. It's highly educative. Please. Hello.
Now, what
Hello.
please don't answer your question, please.
Okay. I said, how can one access the credit support for healthcare facility?
So that we can hear you.
It's unmuted already.
Yeah, go ahead. Repeat your question. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. I said, thank you for the presentation. It's highly educative and enlightening enough. Please, how can one secure credit support for healthcare facility through BOI, as was stated? What are the conditions? And then the second question is, you did say that if one want to invest in land or whatever, it should be in a high brand area. But most often in the high brand area, the costs are very, very much. They are too high for a low income earner. Is there a way one can perforce that without any collateral damage? Thank you.
Okay, maybe you can take
Thank you, sir, the moderator, doctor, and resource person for today. I really appreciate your thoughts. Now, my question is this: with the situation of things in the country, we have a lot of mushroom companies, both online and you see them having offices here and there, that they are scammers at the end of the day, in a bid for people to invest so that their livelihood will be enhanced and standard of living will be better. People are investing in such mushroom investment companies here and there, all over. Please, our resource person, what are the clues? What are the things that we should have in mind before investing in such companies that have flooded our country because of there's no restriction? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Please allow Mr. Kelechi to respond to those three. Probably it will be part of those questions you may want to ask, and if not, we will now take the others from Mr. Muritala, Mr. Obila, and Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Kelechi, please.
Thank you very much. The questions shows how much you know already. Dr. Yusak asked about intangibles apart from income. There are so many of them. For one, self-actualization is one of them, that you are doing something meaningful as a person who have been groomed by the society, that you are giving back. And when you sit back and see the number of people, the number of employment generation that your investment have created, I think that is a source of intangible. It's an intangible asset. Also, the development of the country and taking it out of so many vices, insecurity, kidnapping, and all that, you will be happy that you have contributed through your own investment. So there are so many intangibles. It depends on individuals what they are looking out to get, but income also is part of it.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, Steve.
Can I?
Steve.
So,
Steve said, please
can
hold
I say
on.
something?
Is it on the question?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Please allow the facilitator to land, then you still make your comment, please.
It's okay.
Please go ahead, Mr. Kelechi.
Stephen asked about how to secure a fund from BOI. Well, you need to go to their website and check what the requirements are. There are some areas that are given preference. See whether you qualify. There are some documents to be submitted and timelines. It's a whole lot of effort is required. So if you follow the system gradually, you will be able to secure loan from BOI once you meet their criteria. You may not need to know somebody, provided you meet their criteria. Then somebody asked about the situation that exists in our country. So many scammers trying to prey on unsuspecting investors. There is need to be very careful. Like we said before, if the return on an investment seems too good to be true, probably it is. So investments that promises big returns, you need to verify how will the returns be created. Then check the background of those offering such services. And if it is uncharted water, the areas that you don't know, you may need the help of experts, or you may wait for some time. Like I said something about Bitcoin and other investments. You may not know much about it, so you may need to wait until the situation becomes clearer. So don't just throw your money on people who promise returns and in the process lose your money.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate those responses. But we still have a lot of hands up. So let's take Mr. Muritala Yusuf. Let's hear you. You are yet on mute.
Do you hear me?
We can hear you now. You have
my name is Murtala Yusuf. I'm calling you from Ikara local government. Yes, we have one association come to our local government saying that there is loan going to give us since 2 to 3 years ago. They have received getting to 15 or more than 15,000 from us. They registered us and they gave us a certificate and this thing, what you call it, there is an examination conducted to us. They gave us an certificate to us, and we are still waiting for them to give us a loan.
this COVID-19 loan, and we are still waiting for them. The issue is that the only thing is there is some poor people as in our areas came to the association, and still even us, we are waiting for them to give us the loan, and still we are not receiving anything from them. And that is why I'm not annoyed to any such kind of this loan, because it's not the only one. We provide our money to them. Even in the social media, they used to ask us to give them money, and we are very annoyed and we are afraid because scammers are too much. So how do you maintain this thing from you? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murtala. I think Mr. Kelechi have dealt with that, but he will react. Mr. Obilo, let's listen to you.
All right, thank you. Good morning, and thanks for the wonderful presentation. Although my network didn't allow me to get the most out of it, it was on and off most times. But I just want to ask, someone who wants to go into, agropreneurship, because I know it was mentioned back during the presentation. Are there agencies that CeProd might know or are connected to that deliver training, be it pig production, poultry, farm, fish production, or whatsoever? Are there agencies that that one could be connected to, so as to get a very good knowledge of the business, how to produce some of these livestock? And then also, are there agencies that, be they governments or private agencies that are regulated or that have firm foundation, that when one produces and he wouldn't start looking for the market to sell his products at the end of the production? So if there is any way that your organization could help in providing solution to this, it will really be appreciated.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obilo. We appreciate you. As the facilitator mentioned, the other person is not an expert in agri, but I can help the facilitator when we get to that, when he's addressing that. Mr. Ibrahim, I now react. Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed, you have the floor. Okay. Okay, let's listen to Mrs. Mary Idowu. Seems Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed, okay, is having issues with his phone or with his device. Okay.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you a lot from it. I am a lecturer. I lecture in the university. Hello? As a soil scientist. Are you hearing me?
We can hear you, madam.
Are you hearing me? Okay, thank you. As a soil scientist. Okay. And at the same time, I have a company that consults for soil fertility evaluation and also for blending of fertilizers to meet specific crop needs. What I've observed is now how to get funds to support my dream. Because when I talk about the issue of fertilizer in Nigeria, it is a serious one, because our fertilizer usage is the least, just like the sub-Saharan Africa in the whole world. And it is one of the reasons why we are able to produce sufficient food for ourselves. And here we have fertilizer causing disease. We are now eating food. Our farmers don't have sufficient knowledge of fertilizer application. And the right fertilizers are not at the same time in the markets. That was what really encouraged to me is now a challenge. But from the lecture of today, I've learned a lot that loan is there, but with caution. So I think I will dwell more on grants before I think of getting loans. And again, about production, getting training. We in the university, we carry out researches along with the teaching, and experts are loaded with
Network is
knowledge,
better here.
but
So,
not available to people that are. So I don't know how you can do it that you bring about synergy between the institutions of like agriculture, for instance, or other disciplines, and experts and people that are into production in order to facilitate or to improve the productivity. Because this is also a challenge and a concern for the EU. There's a platform now for long-term EU and AU relationship in meeting food and nutrition security and sustainable agriculture. It's ongoing. I'm a member of that consortium, and we are seeing the researches, all the efforts that we are putting in as not translated into the expected food and nutrition security in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole. And I see that the organization has a role to play in this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for that.
Hello.
Thank you so much for that elaborate explanation. Let's take pharmacist Ali Ibrahim. Okay.
Thank you for the excellent and practical presentation. It's indeed an eye-opener for most of the public servants. But one thing I want to ask is that having this pool of expertise that will be able to guide people on the right choices to invest, maybe when they are in service or after service, but mostly people who are outside service on retirement might have a pool of funds, which if this presentation, I believe if you have collaboration with them, during the pre-retirement training, you're able to key into it to make a lot of impact. So I want to know if there's any way your expertise can make this kind of presentation to those who are about to retire, so that they won't make mistake of investing areas that are very risky. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The DG is here. Is going to elaborate on that, what the center have done and what they are still doing. Now, Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed, I think you are back now. We can hear you.
Okay, sorry, please. Good morning. My name is Ibrahim Ahmed from Kaduna State.
Yeah, listen.
Okay, please. The main mention of agriculture and poultry, please. How can we access a loan in any bank or financial institution or any private organization, or we can have a training that we can access a loan for poultry business investments? That's what I want to ask, please.
Thank you so much. Now we now allow Mr. Kelechi Abel to react to all those questions. And if we have personal questions, definitely Mr. Kelechi Abel will make his information available so that we can reach him after this discussion. Mr. Kelechi, please react to those questions.
Thank you very much. Murtala Yusuf, I sympathize with you on a seeming scam over loan in Kanam local government. We actually cautioned that you should carry out a feasibility study, in fact, background study of any institution promising to give loan. And it is better they are government institutions. And when you check their background, you will know whether the application of loan for 15 months ago and it has not materialized. I'm afraid. I don't know whether you have been able to contact persons who came to the local government. Asking them some searching questions will help you know whether they are scammers. Obilo asks about agencies that can provide loan for agribusiness. Well, Bank of Agriculture, CBS Anchor Borrowers Program, all these are available, but we need scrutiny of those platforms. Check their websites and see whether they are authentic. And it is also better to verify the governing board of such organization through your investigation. The chairman said he will say something about agric. I will let him do that later. Dr. Mary asked how to get fund for her project. Madam, I want to commend you for such a laudable project. This is where Bank of Industry can come in. I will suggest you contact them because they have soft spot for businesses and enterprises run by women. Once you are able to meet their criteria, you will have fund. CBN's website on this Anchor Borrowers Program, on the channel, because that Anchor Borrowers Program on paper is good. They give loan at 9% that you on ground and can deliver. Then 9% interest is okay. And they provide large fund that can help you carry on. So make investigation as the need arises. The synergy between experts and the production industry is what the university should do on their own. I thought this Ministry of Science and Technology recently said they've created an agency that will link researches. Or CeProd will also have some advocacies in that field, though we do not link people with borrowers or secure loan for them. We can simply ask them, give them information as to what and where to go. Asked about training. Yes, if you contact CeProd, we will be in a position to organize training for any retiring group of persons, either in the ministry or in the organizations. So we are ready and willing to do that. I don't know if I have done justice to the ones I have. Yes, Doctor.
You have done well, sir. You have done well, sir. You have done well. You have actually done justice to those questions. Individuals that have other comments can still contact Mr. Kelechi Abel later. But as regards the issue of agriculture, somebody was asking about expertise, where they can. The government of each state and the federal government organizes training. And there are different types of trainings by even individuals or corporate organizations on different aspects of agriculture. For example, in Lagos State, there is an ongoing training that's like a bi-monthly training on agricultural entrepreneur that the state has advantage, like aquaculture, like piggery, and others. You know, the Lagos State government cannot concentrate on crop production because of the paucity of land. But where they have advantage, like aquaculture, piggery, poultry, there are trainings like bi-monthly. Just like Mr. Kelechi Abel advises, move to try and make inquiry from each of the state governments so that you won't fall into wrong hands for trainings, for genuine trainings, for genuine grants, for genuine loans, for genuine information that will not put you into trouble with your money when you invest. Dr. Chris Egbu will make comment on what CeProd has been doing as regards training those who are retirees or anybody in government, what the center is doing and what the center is planning to do as regards that. Dr. Egbu, you have the floor.
Yes, of recent, we have sent letters to Office of Head of Service in order to meet with them on how the staff of the government can be trained, especially those that are retiring. But you also know that there are a lot of bottlenecks in government, bottlenecks in the sense that they don't act fast. However, for individuals who want such training or organizations, the center also does it. Then to add to what someone asks on how he can also get training on agricultural area. The good thing about CeProd is that we have members, almost 200 members that are experts in different fields, both in agriculture and others. So if you want referrals of some of our members who are industry experts and who are also into your area that you are interested, we can also link you to them. You just send a mail so that we'll link you to them, and then you can take advantage of their services because they are our members. We can vouch for them and we know them, and we are sure that they will not scam you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chris. Our time is fast spent, but Mr. Richard Obiano is still raising his hand. Maybe we'll just take two more. After these two, we will round up. Dr. Chris will tell us how we can get the contacts of individuals that can respond to our inquiries and questions. Mr. Richard Obiano, you have the floor. Let's listen to you. Please unmute, we can't hear you yet.
Yes, my brother, thank you so much indeed. I want to thank the Director General and the Institute generally for organizing this kind of lecture monthly. My very big thank goes to Dr. Kelechi Abel. I want to say that ordinarily we should have given you a standing ovation for this very well presented, rich paper. You have practically touched on almost all aspects of all areas of investments within our jurisdiction. However, my little contribution is that it's just like a word of caution that if anyone wants to go into any area of investment, the person should endeavor to ensure that he has some knowledge or skill in that area of investment. And where he or she does not have such requirements, it is advisable to employ trusted professionals to manage such investment on his or her behalf. Another area I want to also talk about is on land acquisition. This is an area that promises high return on investment, but it's also an area that one could lose his entire life saving, got his finger burned. So my advice here is that if you want to go into land acquisition, you want to go into properties, please consult a lawyer, legal practitioner. They are experts in this area. They know how to carry out due diligence to ensure that you are not scammed. Ordinarily, lands are given to state governments in trust for the people. So lands are owned by the state government, but sometimes the federal government can also own land when they acquire compulsorily for certain purposes. And sometimes from this acquisition, compulsory acquisition, they can also allocate to individuals. So if you do not get your land allocated to you directly by the state government or the federal government, please be very cautious and engage the service of a professional to do the proper diligence on your behalf. Otherwise, you will discover that you are carrying your hard-earned money and throwing it into the ocean. Yes, like the erudite presenter has rightly said, that all that glitters is not gold. If any investment option is too good, please be wary. Carry out due diligence. Confirm that it is safe for investment before going. And I also like to suggest that CeProd also should also have a department, maybe advisory services department, because within CeProd, I know we have a large pool of professionals in various fields. And we could also advise interested persons and guide them on the way forward, maybe at a minimal fee. And trainings could also be arranged, either for individuals or group of persons by the institute. As an institute, this could be an area to generate some little income to be able to care for our running costs. This is my little contribution. I thank you very much, Dr. Kelechi, for your wonderful paper you presented.
Thank you, my co-lecturer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Richard Obiano. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. And some of the things you mentioned, the presenter has actually mentioned that we must take due diligence in confirming whatever we want to invest our fund in. Let's take Mr. Ochime Sunday Adele, the last person we take comment from or question before we now refer you. Any question you have, you can put it on the chat, put your email for response. You will get a response thereafter. Your question, your email, so that you can be contacted later. Mr. Sunday Adele, please.
We're not hearing you, Sunday. Adele, we're not hearing you. If you're an earpiece, you can remove the earpiece.
Aha. Thank you. Remove the earpiece so that we can hear you.
You can remove the earpiece and talk direct to the device.
Mr. Sunday is having this issue with his device. So, Mr. Sunday, please, you can type your question in the chat box, include your email, then you can have response thereafter. We appreciate everybody that is here today for this noble and interesting lecture from Mr. Kelechi Abel. Like Mr. Richard Obiano and others have commented, that Mr. Kelechi Abel deserves a standing ovation, but we cannot give him a standing ovation. We can unmute to give him a round of applause. Don't you think we can do that? Let's give Mr. Kelechi Abel a round of applause, even if we cannot give him a standing ovation where we are. Thank you so much, Mr. Kelechi. We appreciate very much. Let's listen to the concluding comments from the president of the center, Professor Gupta, before the DG will round up. Professor Gupta, if you are there, you are listening, sir.
Thank you. I'm very happy to listen Dr. Kelechi idea and your support and Dr. Chris. Sometimes they are missing. Our Dr. Kelechi has given in the beginning, they have given 3 important information, like use the Pomodoro methods and use the don't put all your investment in a one basket. That is the one of the great and the big investor of the world, I'm just now missing the name. In a few seconds, I will. He's a US person, third richest person. He has used this strategy, whatever Dr. Kelechi has mentioned, Pomodoro effect. He use your whole energy on 20%, then you will get 80%. It means what? We are not concentrating our energy on one area. We are diversifying in a many area for getting the output. For idea, our energy, physical energy, mental energy. Dr. Kelechi has suggested to use the Pomodoro methodology. It means you should specify on particular things. Then you will see that you will get better return from your investment. That is our objective of our center. Productivity means how we can increase our efficiency, output. Dr. Kelechi has used the example of the finance sector, how we can get the return in a finance sector also. And he has given the quotation, I'm just now missing, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Dr. Kelechi has quoted the Warren Buffett, who is the third richest person of the world. You don't put your investment in one basket. Whatever, suppose you want to invest, get the return of your investment, so don't do in only one area. You divide your investment in other pocket also. Or share market, or the networking business, or you can divide more than 5 or more. It means what? He is advising us to minimize the risk. Why we are doing investment? To get the good return for our investment. It's important. For getting good return, we are taking the risk also. But he is, Dr. Kelechi and the Warren Buffett also suggested everybody, but we should divide our portfolio. Some low risk area investment we should do and some high risk area. The averaging we will get better than the other area like banking sector investment where security level, the safety level is very high. In this regard, I appreciate how Dr. Kelechi has explained the idea of the world leader like Warren Buffett, who always emphasizing or giving the enforcement on the Pomodoro effect and don't put the investment in one basket. And given the effect, what 20% and 80%, when we are focusing whole energy on only particular, then we are getting more output. I'm happy to see Dr. Kelechi efforts and his associate who is giving the wonderful information through my center. Through our center, people get the information and they can increase their efficiency. Not only in the finance sector, Dr. Kelechi has used only one example to explain his idea. We can use in many sectors.